goes, and all of a sudden it'll catch some good fuel and get roaring. And now it's in that green area we were talking about earlier. Yeah, the green area doesn't burn as quickly, but once it gets heated up and it's dry enough, it'll ignite. And once it ignites, it becomes very hot. And you can see by that very deep orange flame, a lot of oil in that fuel right there that's burning very hot. And that's racing up the hills towards some more homes here. But we have the one house smoking about mid-span of this fire as it works its way through here. And pretty, more than likely, it has a pretty good attic fire going there. And firefighters, I'm looking on the street there to see if there's any firefighting apparatus. One truck down there on the street. But that house is right there under that smoke, and you saw fire or smoke coming out of the vents from the top of that roof. So they're going to have to get in there for an initial attack to get an interior attack on it and try to knock it down. And I just saw that fire helicopter come down and do a drop right across the 5 freeway, trying to hit this fire and cool it down to try to be able to slow it down. All right, assignment desk Sky 5, I've just been corrected. It's called the New Fire, N-E-W fire, New Fire. Yeah, that's the air attack telling me overhead. Where's that smoking house again? Okay. No, the air attack told me new. Well, they better check again because I just got told it's not called that. I would say about 40, 45 minutes. Seven, I got you coming around, pass behind you. Yep. Yeah, we saw one fire engine down there. I'm sure they got more coming for structure protection. Also, that one house we saw with smoke coming out of the roof. You see the LA County Sheriff's down here as well, starting the evacuations or trying to get folks out of here. But yeah, this fire is burning right up behind these homes you see right there. And as I was explaining, the way that smoke, the fire works with the wind, it comes up that hill and it's being driven upwards. And you got to think about it, when it hits the hill, goes upwards, hits the fence, and then hits the back of those houses, it carries those embers up under the eaves. And if there's an opening in there to where it can get in, it'll get up into the attic area and start burning within the attic. And I believe that's the issue we have with that. That one house that was smoldering right in the middle of this, we can't see it right now due to the fact of all the smoke that's down here. We're on the north side of the fire, right here along the 5 freeway, just north of Lake Hughes Road. A little community right on the side of the freeway here. So this sparked off probably now about 30 minutes ago, and right on the edge of the freeway, and it quickly spread along the freeway and then up the hill up towards these things. You can see right there, LA County Firehawk dropping water on the south side, as well as hopefully the super scoopers will come over and give it a little hand over here as well. We did see a fire retardant drop right on the back of the houses here in the main part of the fire. It kind of slowed it down, but it's still burning quite heavily on the south side and burning over these houses or up to these houses, and the smoke and embers are flying over the top. So a very dangerous fire. We're watching a person down here battling the fire with his fire water hoses or garden hoses out of the backyard over the fence, and he's keeping this fire right here from getting it into his house. But you see it's getting into trees that are right behind these homes. And once it starts crawling up those trees, you're going to have more fire length, more heat, and more embers coming off there. But looking on the street, I don't see very much fire apparatus on the street right here. I see one brush truck, as they call it, the battalion chief, some looks like law enforcement there in the white cars, and not really seeing too many units here, but they're spread pretty thin due to that big tick fire going. And the area here are going to bring in their resources from here, and then they have the big camp out here that's also being staged for this. So I'm sure resources are en route up here to start doing structure protection as well along there. No, I moved over here just to try to get a shot of what's, because the smoke is going over everything. I'm sliding down the east side of the fire. And Colton was just showing you the one house that is still smoldering, but the big length of flames now are burning up here on the north side. But the smoke is going right over the houses. And also then now you have this length of fire. But if we push back in there, we can now see that house that's smoldering right there. And so yeah, they're going to have to deal with that. But this north side now is reared up a little bit. There it is, right there. You see the smoke coming out of the eaves and out of the crown of the roof, and any vents up there. So there's a good fire working in the attic of this house. And as we come around and clear some more smoke, hopefully we'll see a fire engine or some type of fire apparatus. But yeah, this house has a very good fire going, a big fire going in the attic. You can tell by the amount of smoke coming out of the eaves and out of the cracks of the roof area. And so that shows you how much fire is in there. So once that fire breaches that roof and gets a little more oxygen, it's going to kick loose. Like I said, this north side is burning heavily again, as well as the south side burning as well, burning right up behind these houses. And this is a little heavier brush on this side down here. But you can see the 5 freeway is still rolling through here. But we were watching fire drops, water drops in this area as well. So here comes the helicopter now. Going to work its way up the freeway. You see it right there. It's going to come up in here, and there's that drop, and he's doing a drop there to knock down the heat out of that fire and makes that spin around, and then he'll drop right back down to the helipad that's down here right off Castaic to load up again. So it's a quick return for these guys, and that's who's fighting this fire right now, along with the residents out here with their garden hoses. But a lot of fire. You can see how big it is, how far it went. You can see a little bit of that orange Foz check behind there. and then the smoldering house right there. We'll see if we have another one right there smoldering. Nope, that's just all residual smoke going over the top. We have some camp crews. There's a super scooper coming through, hitting the houses right behind the houses here along the fire line. That's going to be a great work there to hit it. They should have a second scooper coming through. Usually they run in tandem. Yep, there he is. He's going to come along too and then tag on to where Quebec 1 dropped. Now Quebec 2 coming in here to hit, and there he goes right there and dropping it right behind those houses, right where that man was standing with his garden hose. So I'm sure he's happy for that, to be able to knock that down and slow that fire down. Now that the scoopers are over here, they should be able to take this pretty quick. Five, turn it back north. Right over the dam. The other one's right behind it. There. Hopefully that's where they hit next. Nice, turn it back south. Yeah, so it looks like. That house is going to rip here in a minute. Okay. Well, this one right here we're looking at on the north side of the fire looks like it's the one most in danger. Had very tall trees right behind it. They've burned up, and the Quebecs have been coming through dropping water in here. So just so much smoke here, we really can't tell. But if you slide over to the left, we'll show you this one house we were talking about earlier. A little bit of smoke coming out of the roof, and I said once that thing breaks through and breaches that roof and gets some heat or some oxygen, that fire is going to take off, and you can see that's exactly what it did. Once it made a hole to where it could get in there and start getting some oxygen, that fire that was smoldering in that attic really kicked loose. Now you see some engines just arriving at the front of it. They're going to start bringing lines in and do an interior attack. Two-story house, they're going to have to go upstairs and start pulling ceiling down to get to this fire and attack it from underneath, and then also try to get people up on the roof. But I don't think the integrity of that roof is too good, because that fire has been burning in there for probably about a half an hour, and then finally it breached and got that oxygen and then roared up to life, and now there's a real big fire. So your interior attack probably is going to be from pulling ceilings, running hose lines inside, and then the super scoopers are coming through, not right now, but hitting this on either side, trying to take the fire out of it, along with a couple helicopters from LA County Fire. But this house right here, it has a very bad attic fire going, probably from an ember that worked its way up through the eaves, through a vent hole, and then got up in there because that wind was blowing uphill and hitting the side of those houses, and then going up and over the houses. So more likely carried an ember up into that attic space there. But it looks like that's the only one here on this row of houses here that are along this street that backs to the 5 freeway. This is the only one we see on fire. The other ones look like they're still intact or still okay. The super scooper that came through, you see that white? They have foam in their water. They're able to inject foam in the tank, and that 1,600 gallons of water they drop out of there will have foam with it. And what that does is makes the water better. It clings. Here comes another super scooper drop right there. And what it does is it clings a little better. It makes the water move into the fuels better. It just doesn't run off. It actually kind of slows it down. It's kind of a soapy consistency, so it kind of sticks to it and helps spread a little bit more and take a little more of the heat out of the fire. You see another one coming through, hitting that north side of the fire and dousing that out. But right now, this one house, you can see the fire just roaring through the roof as those firefighters running the hoses inside, trying to make that interior attack to save the rest of this house. So we'll keep an eye on this one as we keep working our way along the 5 freeway here, just above Lake Hughes Road along the 5. So Glenn and Lou, we send it back to you. 5's turning back north over the dam. 5-9's right here somewhere. Yeah, I got him. Yeah. Dave, will you call him? Canyon County. We're over Lake Hughes, or Castaic Fire. 7,000 above. Okay. Did take off the, yeah. Okay. I'm back, Craig. Boy, you got the guys in the backyard there, too. Here comes the second Quebec. Okay. I'm just going to orbit the fire. Okay. I don't like this side. And 5's right over the fire. Be turning out to the east. Wagon battery. Craig, I'm ready. Yeah. Okay. 5's got Alpha. I'll pass off to your west. Duck around. 5 is over the dam, turning back north. Got 7, 9, and 4. Yeah, I don't think so. Sending the Quebecs to that flare up. Yeah. That's right. The 5 freeway north has been shut down by Lake Hughes Road, and now they have fire trucks or fire engines on the freeway battling it from below, and then they have helicopter. You see him coming down, going to make his drop right there. Their tankers, the air tankers, have gone except for the Quebecs. Right now, the Quebecs are working from Castaic Lake to here, helping out the firefight here as well. And then we have more fire trucks or fire engines up on the roadway behind the houses, fighting the fire between the houses and also dealing with this one structure that is on fire right there. You start seeing white smoke coming out of there. That's showing you they're getting some water on that fire. We did see an engine on the street with its what they call the wagon battery, the cannon that's on the back of the fire engine, shooting over the hill onto it, trying to knock it down. So, oh man, I just saw another fire start. As we watch here, working here as the helicopter is working the freeway side, and now fire engines are working the house side. But you see that white stuff on the houses pretty much took the roof right off that one house, knocked a bunch of shingles off it. You got to realize this the water is 8.5 pounds by itself, and you add the retardant, it puts it up to 9, and 1,600 gallons coming out at about 90 miles an hour. It'll do a lot of damage. You can see right there. But you know, a little roof damage is nothing compared to a house that's burnt down. So I'm sure the homeowners are not going to have an issue with that the house was saved. But they're still working the both flanks of this fire with the helicopters trying to keep it from moving on. But it looks like they've gotten a pretty good handle on it here along the freeway. Now the freeway shut down, and they're bringing the crews up from the bottom to be able to launch water up the hill and take out what is left. And this one should be a knockdown probably before sundown tonight. That's a good deal. You see, there's the hand crews out in the brush with the lands. They'll start cutting line around it with the picks and shovels, continuing through to put a containment line around this fire. So good news for the folks here in Castaic. Looks like they're getting a really good handle on this fire. So Glenn and Lou, I'll send it back down to you. Yeah, yeah, just over by Magic Mountain. I'll swing it around here. It's south of the, let's see where I'm at here. It's up in the hills here. Let's have Colton swing around. Right there. Yeah, north of the 126. That's right off Industrial Way, the first route ramp that you come off the 126 when you come off of the 5 freeway. And then the Industrial is Commerce Way that comes up the 126 back in the hills here. And you can see it's right up in the hills. You can see an airplane heading over there, a helicopter heading over there. Take a look at it. That's a CAL FIRE helicopter. In fact, we'll just kind of slide over there real quick, see what's going on, because it was just, when I first mentioned it, it was just a little bit of smoke, and now it's looks pretty black. I mean, that's smoke coming up out of there. Yeah, so I'm gonna slide over here. It's not, we're probably about 3 miles from the Castaic fire. This is not under the plume of the tick fire, so this is the third start by itself, and their helicopter coming in from the north side of it. Gonna make it probably a drop in here. Let's see, there he is. Firehawk coming in. Going to drop down in there and see what he sees. He's probably trying to figure out what it is. That's LA County Firehawk right there. But it's really black smoke. So I got a feeling there's something burning down there other than brush, because it's awful dark. And there's a lot of houses and ranch style buildings up in that canyon. And it's kind of burning in a bowl right here. Let's see what's down in there, Colton. Looks like there might be a building right down there in it. So that could be what is burning there. Small house in that little bowl right there. And yeah, there is a truck with a trailer, a house, a mobile motorhome, and things of that sort down in there. So and we just heard on the radio, 4 travel trailers well involved. So that's what's putting up all that black smoke. And that was reported by that helicopter that just flew overhead. So I don't know what started this one, but it's all out by itself here in this little canyon area. Like I said, it's north of the 126 and west of the 5 freeway, off Hasley Canyon Road is what we're being told now. So, yeah, right off the Hasley Canyon Road there, Glenn. So right now they're going to be having to get ground resources in here to fight this. But that's why it was so black, is because of the travel trailers that are burning down in there in that bowl. So we'll see if it spreads to the brush around there. Kind of looks like it has just a little bit, and right up behind that one house. So, yeah, we just don't need another one. Just don't need another one today. Oh, good.
All right, Craig, we heard you. We're leaving to go fuel.